Morning, Dan here with Doflo Power Wash. Memorial Day weekend out here this morning. We're doing some upgrades on the truck. So up to now we've been running a single AGM battery on a 5 GPM Remco half-inch hose, and I like to use the Sandy Lav gun, which is a little oversized for what I'm running, but it works. Today we're going to add a second battery on here. We're going to see what kind of performance differences we get. Maybe some, maybe none. But I know we'll at least get longer runtime for doing bigger projects, multiple jobs in a day where we got to use the system, so we don't have to plug in mid-job. So right now I'm going to show you what we're doing, what we're shooting at now, and then we're going to swap in the battery, hook it up, and we'll see what the difference is. So I'll show you right now what we're working with. This is the original battery. Second battery's here. You see nothing's connected. I already got my wires made up, so it should be quick. We're set to 50 psi. We run an external pressure gauge. Battery's full, 13 volts. Swap this out. See, Sandy Lav gun, half-inch hose, half-inch fittings. Standing here at the front of the truck, and we can spray out to the street, just a little bit into there. The wind started picking up, so I lost about a foot there on that. And if we're spraying up at the house, we can get almost to the peak. The problem we're trying to overcome is where this voltage dips while we're running. 12.4, that's good. But on a long day, that starts becoming a problem. I've seen that dip as low as 12.2 and even down to 11.9. That's where you start really getting a lot of into more potential pump problems that way. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to finish hooking up this battery, and then yeah, we'll do the next part. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and hook up our secondary battery, and we're going to see what that performance difference is. So you're seeing it's all with me at the same time. We're hooking the batteries up in parallel so we don't accidentally give ourselves 24 volts. We're going to verify that with the gauge too before we actually power it. All we're doing is staying at 12 volts, and we're just increasing our capacity. Tighten the wing nut here. I don't know how much y'all can see. Now I'm going to switch to the back side of the box. You're going to see even less. 12 volts, 12.8. All right, let's see what kind of performance difference we got. All right, here we go. Second battery is swapped in. Let me turn the camera around. I'll show you how that looked. Oh, there we go. Boop. You just jump your negative to your negative, your positive to your positive, and that hooks the batteries up in parallel. If you were to flip those, you'd be series and you'd be 24 volts. I don't have a 24 volt pump, but now we have that option. Now we also have the option of going to a 7 gallon and actually having enough power to run the 7 gallon, which is something we're probably going to do fairly soon, since I have one. Sitting at 12.9 volts. The gun's already pulled out. Let's see what we get. I'm not really expecting any real performance changes as far as distance or anything goes like that. What I think we're going to see is it comes back up to pressure a lot faster, and like I said, we'll have longer run times. There's a little bit of wind today, so bear with me on that. So if it weren't for the wind, I would have been back out at the street. But we're getting right there, you know, it's about 2 feet difference. We're gonna spray it to the ridge line. And we're able to hit the peak from the ground. But the main thing I want you to listen to is listen how quick that comes back up to pressure. Within 2-3 seconds, you're back up, and the voltage doesn't really dip down as much. I think before we were spraying this, it was dipping down to 12.2, 12.3. Now we didn't even lose between 12.5. So with not dipping below 12.5, that means our pump here has plenty of power. It has plenty of power to do whatever it needs to do. So all right, so there we go. This is Dan with Delflow Power Wash, based out of here in Central Florida. That's our upgrade to our 12 volt system for this Memorial Day weekend. Coming up next, we're going to do a 7 gallon, and we're going to play around with some different tips as well, you know, see if we can, how much performance we can really get out of this 5 gallon before we start moving into a 7. At this point though, we're pretty much at the most you're going to get from a 5 gallon Remco pump, any brand, Delvan, JetFlow, SureFlow, Superflow, whatever, you know, you're limited. All right, there we go. Dan with Delflow Power Wash, 386-479-9049.